Followed by the Uchi Ubu solo.
Yes.
See how I bring it back around to Star Wars. So I have not heard Gunter. Are you on comms there, Gunter? I guess that could count as a yes. As we only heard a little noise again.
He's asking for you to call him. It's his new computer, so he doesn't have the callback info.
Ah, well, let's hook him up with that.
I was going to say I don't see him in the channel in the Skype thingy.
Tell him that'll be 75 cents extra.
I will call him as well as share the link. It says he's unavailable.
What? How dare he?
Let me Facebook him the link as well, because maybe he won't see the chat. As my whole leg just went numb because a very large cat just landed on my shin.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, that kind of hurt. Let's see if sharing it in the Facebook will help. Where, oh, where can our Gunther be? Oh, where can he be? I done shared the link and rolled my knee. And where can he be?
He can be right here.
He was summoned by the power of song, and there he is on camera.
Yeah, Skype was defaulting to the wrong microphone and speakers. So
Skype was telling us you were unavailable.
I got it fixed now.
Yay.
You guys hear me all right? Does it sound okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful, because this is that picture that I sent you guys last week. That's my new computer, and this is the first time I'm using Skype on it. So everything went fine with Discord for me, and everything worked fine with the Google chat earlier Sunday. But Skype, not so much. So another thing I just learned is that Ugdude's character, Jen, I don't have my character anymore, damn it.
Oh, because it's a downloaded program, yeah.
Yep. Well, I copied it off my desktop from my old computer, so I didn't need to re-download it. And I assumed it would have brought over the character that I had saved.
Separate files.
Nope. Yeah.
You know where it stores them? Because I brought over all of my documents. I brought over everything.
Do you have access to the old computer?
I do.
When you go into Ugdudes, it has an export button. You'll want to export it and then email the file that you export and then import it.
I can do that, I suppose.
Yes, it's very good at compartmentalizing.
Those bastards.
Well, we can't call them too much of a bastards. They managed to make it so we can use the system without having copyright issues.
Right.
All
right. Now we need to add a background.
Usually that puts them in the magnificent bastards category for me.
You're right.
You mean I can make a character in less than 10 minutes, you magnificent bastard?
Right.
And not have to pull 12 books out? It's definitely one of my favorites.
Where do we feel like being?
On Tatooine.
And it's sad because I used to like Forge and Anvil until they got shut down by Wizards, because that was a awesome Excel linked setup for D&D.
Mm-hmm.
I still have their last version and I can use it, but it's missing a whole lot.
It's got lots of gaps in it now.
Yeah.
I might as well close character gen because it's pointless to have it open.
So speaking of where you are, you're on Tatooine.
No, I'm on a ship. Look behind me.
Oh, I like the Millennium Falcon background there. That's a good one.
Right?
That is awesome.
See, currently I just use the fantasy background I have on my Wednesday night game because they're all late night people and they're like, put your cameras on so we can see your faces. And then of course it's funny because my Thursday night group's like, cameras? Oh hell no, it's too late for cameras.
Yeah, I would be in the latter. Not that I have a camera, but I'm like, no. I've been up since 3:30 this morning. No.
See, this is kind of like I have my dark blue milk.
Dark blue milk. It's like extra alcoholic compared to
Your
regular blue
bantha
milk.
milk has gone bad.
Yummy.
It's bantha milk early in the season. It's much darker.
Right?
As opposed to the green walrus milk.
Yeah, we don't want any green walrus milk.
It's okay, she consented.
It was just like a really unneeded, weird scene.
You really don't want the yellow Tauntaun milk.
I mean, there's so much other seconds of footage that could have had much more story impact than that.
Then that scene that was purposely there to give winces across the crowd.
Right.
So screen swipe as your camera follows your ship down to Tatooine and you take a little detour and your compass is pointing the direction of where you need to go. Is there any last minute preparations before you get where you're going? Which seems to be a sand people village that looks like it's been blasted and burned to hell.
Yeah.
Lots of hmms. It's almost like reservations.
Yeah, I'm not sure I kind of like these people.
Everybody wants a crate dragon pearl. Nobody wants to know where the blood diamonds come from.
Yeah. Oh, Bounty Hunter Bosk rumored to return in the Book of Boba Fett.
Hey, he's a great character.
Wait a minute. Didn't Chewie take him out?
That's in a non-canon book now.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, he made a wedding dress for Leia out of Bosk's hide.
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah, so if I recall from the distance, we couldn't see exactly what was happening down there, if I recall.
I was making you wait for it.
Yeah.
I.e., waiting for me to draw the map.
So should we do
Dun,
the
dun,
light
dun.
points?
Oh, yeah.
You should totally roll some force dice.
Destiny. Ooh, all right.
Maybe we should clear the destiny first.
Can I keep that roll?
No.
Take my roll over again?
Yes, you can go ahead and roll over again since we weren't cleared yet.
Okay, so we're ready now?
Yes, you're not starting with 7 light side points before rolling.
Damn.
Wow.
I like
Wow.
Wow.
Come on, Janong.
It's all on you.
Yay!
We got one.
Janong's got you on the board.
Boy.
Interesting stuff there.
Hmm.
So as you can clearly see, you guys are coming up on the camp. Those nasty purple black things are smoke clouds billowing up in the sky. And you guys are coming from this direction, by the way. And conveniently, as your ship is seen coming down, over here, this person here is shooting some rounds into the sky to get your attention.
Get attention, but not at. Okay.
Yeah, he's just shooting a couple, 3-round bursts into the sky to get your attention.
Wait, which guy?
The guy with the yellow circle.
Oh.
See how I make that
Red.
easier?
How about we shoot him?
Hey, what? He was firing on my ship.
Well, we kind of got to make sure and figure out the pearl first, right?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that's not like lost.
You shoot him and the pearl's in his
We
pocket.
have a
It
robot
breaks.
and we have a ship. We can kill all these fools.
Yeah, but then we'd be no better than they are.
Be alive. I think that'd be better.
Look who's so judgy all of a sudden. Somewhere in the ship you must have found some morality.
Wow.
How dare you?
It was
That
kind
was
of hidden.
uncalled for.
It was kind of hidden and tucked away in one dark corner.
That's really just Uma saying, how dare you not scrub and sweep that shit out of my ship.
Definitely didn't come from Alina,
And she's the moral compass of the group.
right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see here. We're supposed to make contact with them.
Well, we're supposed to make contact with somebody. It didn't specify who.
Well, obviously, he's trying to get our attention. So,
You can try radioing them before we go down.
yeah. Let's,
Well, I mean, do they have anything that's going to breach our hull?
You do see they've got 3 speeders that has, like, one of the speeders has a machine gun on it, basically, a big heavy-duty repeater blaster, but nothing that seems to be dangerous to your ship.
Yeah. We fly down there and be like, roll down the window a little bit. What you want?
Well, like I said,
By
they
the
might
way,
have
there's your
comms.
ship, wherever you'd like to put it.
I think that's fine. Not too
Sure.
close, not too.
Try to radio them, see what's happening, see what's what.
You have my
Start
goods.
shooting.
What's
Okay.
happening?
So you pop up on the radio and send a signal, and as soon as you do, the signal that you were expecting to get back from your client pops up in binary, basically saying, please park the ship, greet our companion, and prepare to get directions for delivering the cargo.
All right.
In a very no-nonsense kind of binary kind of way.
As if it were a droid.
As if it were a droid.
Hmm.
As you're seeing
Right.
these guys like kicking through the camp and looting anything they can. One guy's wearing a necklace made of breath masks.
Aw.
And who are these, or what are these guys?
They seem to be a mix of humans and Weequay.
Okay.
And as you guys, I'm assuming you're parking.
I don't know. I'm not the pilot.
Now, Uma, are you parking
Oh,
like
yeah.
a jerk, or are you parking nicely?
Drop it like it's hot.
I'm
Come
going to
in
park
with
it
a big
nicely.
dust cloud.
Okay. So she's parking it nicely, not bathing them in a sandstorm. As you know, you guys see clearly the groups of 3 of these mercs. Obviously, they read merc from a distance. You know, not quite uniform, but uniform-ish. And this guy seems to be having a conversation with this droid and a hologram that's coming out of the droid.
Can we see make out any details of the hologram?
Give me a perception check as you're looking from your little windshield from a nice medium distance.
Okay.
As I totally should get the dice pool ready, huh?
Let me know when you're
I
ready.
could try and hack a signal.
There is that too.
Okay, go for it.
Damn.
See how I brought balance of the force just like that? So you try to squeeze your eyes squinting at the hologram, but yet the dust that you're kicking up is just enough to obscure it from view. Other than it's a hologram figure that you can't quite make out. But you do have 3 advantage. What would you like to use those advantage for?
I would like to give let's see.
Would you like to get extra close detail of the shot younglings?
No. No.
See how I'm a jerk.
You are. That was mean. I would like to give the next 3 of us to go, each a blue, like for whatever skill check.
Okay, so for 2, I'll give a specific person, and for 1, I'll give the next person to go. How about that?
Okay. For specifics, then Janong. Whatever Janong wants to so he can scan the.
Okay, so who's going next as you guys are looking?
Try and hijack our signal.
What do you mean by hijacking the signal? It's a conversation. I mean, what are you angling to do there?
Just spy on it or copy it or
Just a little radio tap. Like you don't know I'm there, but I hear everything.
Okay, so you're just gonna eavesdrop. Okay.
Just basically give us a little more info as to what we're hopefully dealing with.
And if you're going next, that means you get 2 blue, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And do you have anything that removes black dice?
Up to 6 of them.
Is it already in your character sheet?
What's that?
Is it already on your character sheet to automatically macro it out?
I don't know how to set it up that way, but
okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and remove the black dice manually then. Go ahead and roll when you're ready.
Nice.
As the power of the Janong is to be trusted, what would you like for those 3 advantages?
Coming from.
Yeah, let's just do some extra details about the people or where it's going or whatever.
Okay, so immediately you hijack the signal, you control the bandwidth. And you basically start to do a space trace through the HoloNet of finding out what relays this is hitting. And you're immediately informed that yes, you guys know your destination is Yavin 4. Yes, his trace is saying this is coming directly from Yavin 4 on a secure channel. So it would be like 1 in 100 for anyone to intercept this conversation that's happening.
So, or Janong.
As Janong's knowing that someone went to great detail to make sure this conversation was kept private. Except, it's Janong.
But I mean, it's not like,
Janong's like 85% of the time good. There's just that 10 to 15 that it all goes to hell when it goes bad.
Yeah.
And as I'm assuming Janong kind of scans the beginning of the conversation forward and realizes that this is a Darth.
Ooh, a Darth. Fuck.
And obviously she's the one who contracted to get the Crate Pearl. If you can find one, I really want one type of thing, because Sith don't go hunting, they just pay. And this is her personal scout droid that was launched to the planet. And that her directions are to send the Pearl and the droid back on the ship. And the fact that these mercenaries shouldn't worry about getting paid. The funds will be transferred for them.
So we have an opportunity to fuck a Darth.
I mean, she looks nice in her black and leather. I'm just saying.
Sure.
They always do.
And what are we supposed to be getting paid for this mission?
We got 2,000 credits up front, another 2,950 upon delivery.
And
Yeah.
you guys are way ahead of schedule.
Right.
Henceforth, while the camp is still on fire.
So yeah, well, whatever you want to do, boss. But yeah, it's a good chance to like screw over a Darth.
And as you
Yeah.
guys are just kind of like sitting, chilling, they're kind of moving closer. I mean,
My concerns, of course, screwing over Darth is that they have quite a bit of resources and can hunt us down. But I also think I know how Aline is going to feel.
Yep.
And she would be all for, so good thing we had changed our transponder, because we're going to need to change it again after this.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to have to get the pearl and destroy the droid, or I don't know, Janong, maybe you can reprogram it.
Yeah.
So all right, land and let's
Get them
get
on
the
board.
cargo.
Yeah. Get the cargo and figure out from there where to go or how to deal with the droid.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
On the ship.
So can I just mention real quick that I don't know if I told you all that stuff out loud?
Oh, okay.
Well,
All right. Well, then.
You're listening to it there with us, right?
Well, he's listening to it. We're not necessarily listening to it.
Yeah, we'll
Janon's
just go
putting
with
on
this.
his
It's fine.
headphones of privacy. You get concerned because he hits the record button, but he's not telling you anything.
Yeah. The cone of silence over him.
Right? Well, I mean, I figured I would have it jacked into my own communication link. That way, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys. That's fine.
I mean, what? You have a earbud?
Well, I have a comm inside my helmet.
Uhura Janon.
Yeah.
Big old Bluetooth in his ear. Or I should say his lizard ear hole.
Yeah. Well, vibrations are vibrations.
So they're
But
basically
yeah, I'll tell you guys. I don't care.
just moving up closer on you guys because they're just like, hey, payday, money.
All right. So, Alina, are you good with this?
With us stealing the crate pearl apps from a Darth, absolutely.
Wow.
Okay. Act like we don't know.
Actually, Captain, my preferred course of action would be to go to make the delivery to the Darth and walk away with one less Darth in the galaxy and a crate pearl.
Look who's writing checks.
Yeah. How about we just stick to the first part of that? I'm not sure if I'm myself or the crew are entirely comfortable with, going to a Darth's home base.
Yeah, at this time in the Star Wars universe, Darths are a dime a dozen.
Along with all their minions on their home base.
It's more like you get the mail away coupon in the back of the comic book and you become a Darth by the end of the month,
Now, how much is this crate pearl worth on the open market?
That's a lot. Here, let me find out exactly for you.
Yes, thank you.
So, Uma's just like, we're just picking up a pearl and we're getting paid for this. So, of course, Alina's going to immediately whip out the HoloNet and show you what a crate pearl really is.
Yeah, as soon as I heard crate pearl, I was like, yeah, we're not making that delivery, right? All right, let me find where the lightsaber crystals is. Page 97.
When in doubt, always consult the Jedi.
Right.
Crate Dragon Pearl, 15,000 credits.
Yeah, so we could.
And that's rarity 10.
I was going to say, yeah, it's also rarity 10, so you can probably put a nice markup on it too.
Yeah, so I'm not uncomfortable with taking it and selling it to somebody else.
How about we find a nice Jedi to sell it to?
I can live with that if they're willing to.
Is your crystal better than that you currently have?
Let me, because I have a mephite crystal, I believe. Yep, I have a mephite crystal. So, I mean, but I have multiple lightsabers, you know.
That's true. She does. She's starting her own collection.
Yeah. But I mean, well, we can figure that out as once we get it, and
Yeah.
who knows what this droid's going to be.
Okay, well, Janong, just be ready to try and hack this droid.
Oh, that's the easy part.
No, I don't think it will be that easy.
He's got to power it down somehow. EMP his ass. I don't give a shit.
I was going to say Vibroax.
Can we do a localized EMP just on,
Just on, the ship?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
As you're now floating lifeless in space. Well, we took out the droid.
That would be a really cool invention. It's like a micro EMP
I have a restraining
that
bolt.
you just put it directly on, and
Sure.
it only affects.
Yeah, just a restraining bolt. It'll let you walk up, put it right up. Yeah. Figure it out once we get it on. Figure out what kind of droid it is, potentially.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's line and see what we're dealing with.
Even then, we've got Ed 209. Worst case scenario, I just got to put him back together a little bit.
I'd rather not have them get into a battle on the ship when we're, in.
Well, then we just roll Ed 209 down. We just murk everybody and call it a good day.
All right. Well, let's head
Get
down
on the guns.
Yeah, so I go down to the end of the ramp there, rifle
Okay.
in hand, Vibroax on.
You guys open the ramp and you see that their captain here is still talking with the hologram, and the droid is interjecting every now and then in the conversation. As the ramp starts to come down with the hiss of smoke, and we of course got Zarek as the first one coming down as they pointed to the ground non-threateningly, as they're just they take a half step of a gank. Somebody's spending some serious coin. As the captain comes walking up and gives you just this polite kind of chest thump salute, most warriors. And he immediately looks, to the droid and says, "So, who are we supposed to hand this to?" And the droid immediately does the interjection of, "I will be the one couriering the item. The ship is merely my transportation."
Did we agree to that part?
Well, we knew it was a pick it up and deliver it job. We didn't. It's I'm well, your passage wasn't in the agreement. All I have is an order for crepe pearl.
As the captain comes down the ramp, excuse me.
Uma comes sauntering down.
That wasn't part of the negotiation.
The plans have changed. Pray they don't change any further.
And immediately the droid kind of does this wingtip wobble, because it looks kind of like a flying saucer with arms under the bottom, and a really cool metallic-y paint job that looks special. It's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely not right off the market, and it's got a nice blaster rifle-sized blaster built into the bottom of it. As the droid proceeds to look and says, "My master has already agreed to the rates for this transaction. Are you wishing to alter the deal further?"
Your passage wasn't included in the deal. Where's the pearl?
And the droid immediately looks over at the captain and says, "Your funds have been deposited. May I please have the pearl?" And of course, he yells over at one of the guys, and the guy pulls out a data pad and does a beep, 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 beep. Obviously, he's the Janong of their team, and he's just like, thumbs up. And the captain reaches into one of his chest pockets and picks out the pearl and tosses it to the droid.
Tosses.
I force grab the pearl. Quick, everybody on board. Let's get out.
Nice.
All of a sudden, I hear Benny Hill music.
As the droid catches the pearl, by the way, snatches the pearl from the sky. Unless somebody does something to keep that transaction from happening.
Shoot it out of the air.
No, there's a lot of guys. There's 10 mercenaries,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd rather not. I'd rather deal with just a droid than all the mercenaries.
exactly. They've been paid, so maybe they would walk away, but alternately, they may decide to help us kill the droid and then turn on us so that they can take the pearl for themselves. So,
Or they don't want to fuck with the Darth, and
Yeah. Well, no, we definitely need to get away from these guys before we
yeah.
really do anything.
And while you guys are having this long pause where you're kind of shooting glances back and forth at each other with your inner monologue spilling out, the droid looks at the captain and says, "May I inquire how much it would cost for your soldiers to execute the crew and commandeer this vessel to complete my mission?"
Oh, fuck that!
As it just drips with Sith droidiness.
Wait, it wants to shoot us?
Yeah,
No.
it
But
wants
yeah,
the
they want-
mercenaries to shoot
It
us.
was asking how much it would
Dude,
cost.
I'm winding up
Back on
Ed
ship and shoot
209.
him.
Ed 209's coming down the fucking ramp.
Is he?
Yes. Well, I'm not dying. I'm not dying.
Okay, let me go give you a
You can't
mini.
get it. I'm like going to say, if you can't keep these negotiations civil.
As the droid just looks at you having two conversations at once, because that's what he's built for.
Yeah. that's a
There are
trade.
no negotiations. You have already been paid for a job.
I've only been paid part of it, and you were not part of that bargain.
I am sorry that my bulk will take up so much space that you incur extra expense. And by the way, when Ed 209's stepping down the ramp, moving Zarek out of the way, everybody starts pointing guns in your general direction.
That's fine. I'm not dying today.
And you should have control of your droid if you...
Oh, don't be alarmed. He's just there for the threat that you just made to us.
I do not make threats. I am making a cost
Yes,
assessment
You
spreadsheet.
did.
We are merely in negotiation.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
What additional expense will you incur by having me with you? I'm
Like-
merely saying if your cost will be greater than the cost of hiring these soldiers of fortune.
It's a veiled threat. And by the judge, well, by my account, your ego is big enough to take a star cruiser.
And he kind of wobbles his wings and he says, "Thank you."
Not a compliment.
Curious. I would think
I'm
that
a
would be a
businesswoman.
compliment.
I don't do charity, and I don't take passengers.
And what's your war droid doing, by the way?
Oh, he's like just like assessing the situation. He's like, how many people can he target at once?
Well, he can only attack once. I mean, he can aim for
No,
groups.
he can only attack once, but like, can he like? All right, so you know how like, here's what I'm thinking. You know how like when RoboCop walked into the factory and he's like, "Oh, there's a bad guy there, and a bad guy there, and a bad guy there, and a bad guy there." Like, can he do that?
Where his little targets assess everybody, yeah.
Yeah. I just want him doing that. Just like, do.
As you see, like, at least one guy in this group is reaching in for explosives, and one guy in this group is reaching in for explosives. We were not told that we needed a rocket launcher. Rocket launcher would be nice. And the captain kind of takes a half step back here, and he looks at the droid saying, "You can't afford how much it would cost for us to take that thing out."
Smart answer, Captain.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Don't even worry about him.
As the droid just wobbles at Uma, waiting for the business she's been mentioning, but she's not actually mentioned any numbers.
Let's see here. Let's see.
'Cause I can take out 5, probably 6 of them.
Another 500 credits for your passage.
That's all.
Up front.
It's a Darth.
Yeah, but theoretically, we're getting almost 3,000 when we, I don't want to seem too greedy.
As, the droid kind of wobbles and just kind of gives this peculiar blinking of light, that you can't quite make out what it's saying, but it's saying something. And it looks at you and says, 500 credits is hardly worth the time you've wasted to compute how much it would cost.
Fine, 1,000.
Very well. And a little articulated arm pops out, and there's a credit stick, and he basically is wanting you to come out and take the credits.
Good. We can do that.
Hmm?
You want me to go get it? I'll take it from him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Want to assess how?
That way you can assess him.
Yeah.
I'll go with Janong.
Okay, so you guys come stepping out there, and you take the credits from him, and it gives you this polite floating hover nod, and immediately he basically, has an audio recording of Uma, and says, "Thank you for doing business. I will gladly take passage on your vessel for 1,000 credits to my master's location."
Yep. All right.
Do you have the location on the data stick? I have the code for you so you can access it at this time.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
And
Can we move on to the ship?
Step aboard.
Yeah.
Very well.
Back in the ship and.
Okay, so you take your battle bot and put it back on the boat where it's packed in the corner.
And to the mercenaries, the captain of the mercenaries kind of give a salute.
And he kind of gives you this nod. As he does that, he turns around and does the whole "roll it up, boys, grab anything of value, and let's leave."
I'd really like to nuke them from orbit, but...
And off in the distance, you hear the yowl of a sand person that's overlooking the camp and seeing this from a far, far distance. Because, of course, I'm sure these guys attacked while the warriors were away.
Bastards.
Of course.
Right.
And the droid will gladly come puttering over.
Oh, God, I just really want to leave a thermal grenade somewhere next to them and...
Well, we've got to take care of Fancy Pants first.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
As the you may call me OB7, tactical observation droid. And he immediately pops out to the captain a data stick that, if you were to combine this stick and the other stick, it will give the location needed for the drop-off.
Well, let's get up in orbit before we do that.
Excellent. And it asks where in the cargo hold it's supposed to go. Please designate my location. Where is my berth?
So we can easily surround you.
Yeah. Where do you guys think we should put him?
Can you bring up our ship schematic? Perfect.
Why, yes, I can. And look who's already there. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Okay. Let's see.
I will require minimal space, and my charging capacities have me charged at a full capacity for at least twice the time needed for this trip.
Shit.
You know, never mind. There I am.
You're hard to see. We can fix that.
I was in the spot. Yes.
I just leave them in the cargo hold there,
Yeah, the cargo hold.
or storage
But I
hold,
want
as they call it.
eyes. I want eyes on him at all times, if it's possible.
Oh, Ed 209's right there.
Yeah, don't let him interface with the ship.
No, I figure it won't be too long before.
I figured this guy's got a lot of friggin' spyware.
So did I notice any like weapons on him when I like went and got the? I know I didn't study him for very long, but
Yeah,
Blaster
blaster rifle.
obvious weapons
If you'd like to
like
give
other
me,
than the one.
if you'd like to give me a perception check for checking them out, I will gladly do that for you.
Or maybe a knowledge check
See.
about the type of droid.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Okay, so which direction, which angle you going? So like
I just-
perception to
if I-
see his features, or
Because I bet
Yeah,
you
probably his
he's
features. I'd be like, ooh,
he's
got
probably modded out.
he's got a this. That's pretty cool. I want that.
okay, go for it.
Did you get my
Wait,
upgrade?
I did not get your upgrade. Now I have your upgrade in.
All right.
Okay, damn. So you were paying fine attention as you're guiding your dreadnought back onto the ship. So as you give this tactical observation droid a look-see, you clearly notice that he has a blaster scout carbine. Basically, it's an auto-fire carbine that probably has a stun setting, but more importantly, is known for shooting shit up. You notice that it's got very, very good articulated silent thrusters.
So it's got a stealth mode.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. It has a large
silent thrusters. So.
eyeball. You know, it's very good at observing things. So, and you see that it's got like top of the line targeting array. You know, you would almost love to have this targeting array put on any droid that you know. I mean, we're talking it gets to upgrade a gunnery or a ranged attack. And its metallic skin, you kind of are keenly observing it as it moves, and you realize that it's actually optical camouflage.
Cool.
And the fact that this thing, of course, has not only a holo transceiver, but a long-range communications built on board.
It's a spy droid, not an observation droid.
Observation, spying, assassination.
Is there
Same
any
thing.
way we can jam its long-range communications?
If you guys had a comm jammer, yeah.
Well, we do have one of those. That's easy.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna turn that on.
Okay. So are we gonna attack it right now? Because it's gonna probably not like having its communications jammed.
No, it's like we're gonna go radio silent for a while, folks.
So are you guys taking off? Are you still on the planet?
Or an orbit. I
Well,
thought.
we're definitely taking off. Because I don't want to be in this area. With
Okay,
the
so
Tusken Raider.
Uma, while you're in the cockpit there, you do get a radio transmission.
Okay.
Really loud, gruntle,
Before
comes in
I
and
turned it
huddies.
off. Okay.
As basically you get the and basically it's a little automated message. You know, you're used to hearing these down, and it's basically the Hut shakedown of prepare to pay taxes.
Is everything gonna be so aggressive?
Ho 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 ho. Do you reply to this automated message? Do you pop on your sensors? What do you do?
Definitely turn your sensors on.
Yeah. I'm going to turn the sensors on because, of course, we have, like, a number of different factions in the area that I wouldn't necessarily like to, have to kill.
So at a good long range distance, you realize that there is a hut carrier. Basically, it looks like a giant version of Jabba's floating, party barge. It's off at the distance. It couldn't chase you down or anything at this point, but basically it's heading your direction. And you're getting the idea that the local tax collector's coming up to say, throw me some money, and you won't get bothered.
Did it say how much? I mean, did the message
It basically, threw out this ridiculous sum, but the usual. You're meant to haggle.
Let's just take off.
Ooh. And by the way, for y'all in the cargo hold, the droid is conveying this message as well because it picked it up on open comms. That there's a hut attempting to shake us down for credits.
Yeah, well, unless you want to pay those credits.
Well, you're in the
Goldie.
cockpit, baby.
Yeah.
So, does anyone want to interact with the droid as he's warning you guys about this?
Nope.
No. I'd just be like, it sounds standard for the area.
Yeah,
I'm
heading
going
to,
to
the dorsal,
turn off comms.
gun.
I'm turning off comms, and we're making.
Yeah, I should probably make my way to the other gun turret.
And the droid looks towards Alina and just turns right towards you and says, "If I may be allowed to respond on behalf of the ship, I can alleviate any situations."
You'll have to check with the captain.
May I be allowed in the cockpit?
No.
I don't want this observation droid in
And
my
by the way, this droid will totally take up the cockpit if it was to try to get in there.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No, I don't want him in my cockpit.
No, I will.
But basically, I've already turned off comms, and
Now, what do you mean by turned off comms? Do you guys have a jammer?
I'm jamming everything.
Do you have a jammer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a jammer.
Okay. So it's built into the cockpit now?
Or I would have told Janong to turn it on.
Okay. So Janong's going to go run it.
I don't know how it's installed.
Well, the way you were saying it sounded like you were turning it on, so I was just making sure. So you're giving the order to turn on the jelly.
Yep, turn on
raspberry.
Okay, so you doing that, Janong?
Yep, and I am.
I like how she said "yep" for you.
Well, yep, and I'm. Let's get out of here.
As the droid is peeking, if you leave the door open, by the way, through this opening.
I totally closed the door behind me.
How
rude! These are the standard like Star Wars, Star Trek doors that
whoosh 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 whoosh. So, Janong, I do have to ask you a question on your standard operating procedure on the Janong Hack Homebook. For your Ed 209, is he allowed to interface with other droids or no?
Not without my permission. He would send me a prompt saying, "Hey, this person wants to talk to me, or I want to talk to him." Okay.
So while you're running off to go wherever you keep the jammer in a general situation, to go flip on the comm scrambler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you flip it on, and of course, the droid is talking to the other droid about how annoying. I've been disconnected from my master. And immediately,
we've also been disconnected from the huts.
Your Ed 209's asking if it's allowed to converse with this droid.
I mean, because it would have to. So if that droid wanted to try and overtake my droid, it'd have to go against my computer skills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like where this is going. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
And basically, the droid talks to your droid about how annoying I'm used to constantly being in contact with my master. Would you like to communicate in a much more quicker way in binary? And your droid's got permission?
Yeah, sure, why not?
And of course, the droid just goes over there and taps into the droid, and they're having like a 1,000,000-mile-a-minute conversation. This is how droids entertain each other. They play like 25 different games all at once.
Right?
Gonna get shot to shit from inside now.
We've got 2 tactical droids playing games with each other for fun.
It's like tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Clear 4.
The
Until
only
there's mutual annihilation.
Do you want to
Yeah.
play a game?
That's what I was thinking, so yeah.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't underestimate the Darth's ability and its droid.
Oh no, I don't, but I mean, here's my thinking too. Like, if it's preoccupied, I might be able to slap that restraining bolt on it a lot easier.
good point. All right, let's get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and give me, it's not going to be horribly difficult for you since you do have a head start. Give me a piloting check for ditching the hut ship.
Did you?
He
I
did.
did.
Bastard. I was going to do that. All right, are you ready?
Yep, so you're making your quick getaway saying, oh, hell with this shit. And you, like, rip on out of there and you're just, like, giving the Leku finger to them as you arc the ship around. What would you like for those 3 advantages?
For the 3 advantages, I would like to give Janong specifically advantage against any, on when he attempts to take over the droid.
Well, how does your piloting help with that?
Oh well. It just he's
How about
distracted.
astrogation?
Huh?
How about an astrogation?
Okay,
Even though
yeah,
nobody's technically put the 2 sticks together yet.
Nope.
the 2 sticks.
The data sticks? The one that you were already given that Janong cracked?
Oh yeah.
But no
Okay,
one knows
well,
was cracked?
Then we'll give blue to the astrogation for when we.
Okay, so Janong, are you combining both the sticks to get the information that you already have?
So I want to connect it to, like, could I have cloned it with my when I broke it?
Sure, I'll give
And
you
then,
that.
like, connect it to that. That way it's not gonna, like.
Yeah, we don't want any malware getting onto the.
Yeah.
It's a total Sithy thing to do.
I just, yeah.
So paranoid.
Yeah.
Okay, so you basically stick the other stick in, and it basically unlocks. It does what you've already basically done to the stick. It unlocks it, so that way you've got full access to the coordinates of where you guys need to go.
I mean, we already know the Sith have been putting spyware on other people's droids. Hey, we got confirmation.
Okay, so it unlocks and basically tells you that yes, the 4th moon of Yavin is your destination. One of those really obscured locations that the Sith Empire demanded to become their territory during the Treaty of Coruscant. So you know firmly that this will have you going deep into Sith space. On the plus side, it also has automatic codes that as long as you have your stick stuck into the computer in the cockpit, it will automatically reply to any Sith inquiry of asking who the hell you are and what the hell you're doing here.
No, well, that's handy.
I mean, are we to this? We're not going to this moon, right?
Well, Alina would like us to and kill the but I would.
Okay, we're badass. We ain't that badass.
No.
Yeah, I would prefer just to, just destroy the droid or, have you take it over, sell the crate pearl, and change our transponder. So again,
And
so
if you
that.
if you want a destroyer, talk to your temple and tell them, hey, there it is. There's a Sith there, and send them there.
Exactly. And then definitely change our transponder so that Sith doesn't put out,
Some Siths are hot. I wouldn't mind if they put out.
put out the word.
Dun dun dun.
So yeah, let's get into negotiating.
Yeah, are we definitely safe now from the planet?
Did we?
Yeah, you guys managed to escape. I just need a astrogation check.
Alrighty.
Now that you've unlocked the stick and you know where you're going.
Or
Great, do it.
And we get
Are we?
a blue die.
Okay.
You ready?
I mean, you got this really great roadmap that's auto updated, and you're
Yeah, but I
giving me
wanna be
back a
able to
light
do-
side. I love it.
Make it look like we're going there, but we're not really going there.
Okay, well that's Janong. You're gonna go ahead and roll me an astrogation.
Okay. Here we go.
Shit!
Like I said, I got a light side point out of that. So, what exactly are you doing with your astrogation with all of this goodness? It's got lots of crunchy goodness, and you figured out your course in like 3 seconds.
So, like I said, I would like it to make it think we jumped there. I don't know if I don't know if it would be able to tell from the cargo hold or not, but not jump there. Like I want to jump someplace very fucking safe.
Okay,
Way
so you
far
want to
away.
you want to overshoot Yavin and head to like Alderaan, or like we talking Republic safe, Scum and Villainy safe? I'm assuming not Sith safe.
Yeah, not
Hey,
Sith safe.
How about safe from Sith?
Is there anywhere in the galaxy that is?
Like, is there a Jedi place?
Well, he doesn't know about any Jedi places because it's not like the Jedi are bragging where they're at. That's some
Right.
secret
That's true.
that's
I
some
would have
secret
no
stuff right
clue.
now. The Sith would love to know where the Jedi are hiding. Oh, did that planet blow up? I hate when that happens. So are we talking like you want to land at a well-respected Republic planet?
Here's what I want. I want a inside Republic space, but like something that I only know kind of a place.
Wow.
Well, you have a triumph, so what is this only you know place? You tell me now. Now, how about this? Since the buck is in your pocket now, and you got to come up with something, we'll take a quick 5-minute break to use the restroom, and when we get back, you'll tell me what this place is that you picked. And remember, your communication scramblers are still on. I'm assuming, yes.
Yes.
Okay, good to know. So let's take a quick break, go to the restroom, get some food, get some drink, whatnot, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Be right back.
Where are we on the Galactic Civil War? We're before that, right?
I think so, yeah. So hang
Okay.
on a sec. I've got some notes around here somewhere that have the.
I'm back.
Oh no! The campaign takes place in 3643 BBY. So let me look up. Yeah, what year was it in? Jesus, you'd think that'd be easy to find.
That's all right. I picked a place. I picked a place.
Why am I worried?
That sounds ominous.
I mean the the Galactic Civil War was after the Clone Wars. Yeah, we are way, way before that.
Yeah, you're a good 10,000 years before that.
Way, 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 way before that.
Were you worried that Yavin 4 was a rebel base?
Going to is.
ISIS.
Wow, so you're
So
wanting to way out.
Legends planet, so
Oh, so we're going Outer Rim.
well, I mean it's a safe place.
The Outer Rim is not safe in any means. But hey,
Well, he means it's safe in the fact that pretty much he's the only one who knows where this location, the specific location in the Outer Rim.
sure, okay.
Is that right, Janong?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So you've got
Considered unreachable, hidden in the fringes of a galaxy.
Where? Wait, okay.
And how do you know of this place?
That's like another name for it.
The place that can only be reached from Lone on the Corellian Trade Spire? A secret hyperlane that passes by the mining
Seeing it
world
on my
of...
planet list.
Apparently, in one of the Star Wars games, it takes place, or part of it takes place in an area called the Red Nebula. There is absolutely no history in any other Star Wars for it whatsoever. We could go there.
Now the question is how does Janong even know this place exists? Are you guys there?
Oh, so it is at least a Rebel Alliance place.
Well, found during the last years of the Old Republic.
That somehow Janong knew about
Galactic Civil War
centuries
later
before.
became a mining world. Okay.
Yeah, so but I mean yeah, there you go.
It was your ancestors that helped lead the Alderaanian scout expedition to it. I mean.
And it's not really the planet per se, it's the nebula he knows of because the planet doesn't even have a
Family
name.
secret.
So you know the secret hyperlane, huh?
Yeah. You know. One random time that I had to do something for somebody at that one place.
You copied their hyperspace jump logs and
I had to hold up.
It's not a very hospitable sounding place. But
yeah.
crystals. But hey, they could be worth money. No.
Well, so later on it becomes like a big mining place.
Yeah. Because it's
in,
crystal.
in like thousands of years when someone finds the place.
That's not till later, so.
Okay, so basically you're going to be popping out at the edge of the Ivax Nebula.
Alderaanian scouting expedition found it.
Found it.
Jim get lost or eaten by a dog.
No, can you hear me?
Not sure.
Can you hear me? I'm not muted. Can you guys hear me? So apparently I was muted. You could not hear me.
Oh, so you were trying to tell us all this detail, huh?
Yeah, I was throwing in all these things about how you're picking a place that is literally the ass end of space and unknown for a long time.
Yeah.
But like unknown means that nobody knows about it. So I
And
feel safe.
And it's conveniently going in the general direction that you should be going in.
Oh, great. Well,
From
let's
a
not
certain point of
interact
view.
with anybody on the planet.
Well, there's like only one city or something like that.
Well,
Well,
technically, at this point, the place hasn't even been discovered for a few thousand years.
Yeah, so
You missed that part, Jim. I was joking that it's one of Janong's great ancestors that helps lead the Alderaanian scout expedition to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, according to this, the Gatritri, which are a crystalline sentient species indigenous, the Gatriti were immune to blaster fire. Wonderful.
Well, that's mighty helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so he puts in the coordinates and totally says, yeah, these are the coordinates to go to, right?
I trust Janong.
Okay, so you guys slide the coordinates as this is a rough ride. It's really rumbly. And but Janong says he's got this. He definitely has this. So as you guys pop out of hyperspace, when what Uma was expecting to be this nice, calm, serene, giant gas planet with a bunch of 12 moons floating around it, and instead she's popping out in the middle of a nebula.
There's a what the hell?
Give me a piloting check. As you plan to be driving to Tulsa and you end up in downtown Phoenix.
Okay. Shit.
As you kind of look out the windshield, some flaming nebula debris kind of like splashes against the ship, doing, by the way, 3 damage. But you have 2 advantage. As you clearly look out the window and go, this is not where we're supposed to be.
Wait a minute, for the ship?
Uh-huh.
What about soak?
This is environmental damage, so don't worry about soak.
Don't worry about
so
soak.
hull trauma then?
Uh-huh. It would have only been 2, but you had a failure. You flew right into this glob of nebulous space gas. Corrosive space gas.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
2 gas clouds are basically spinning together. The twin nebulae are separated millions of years ago by a supernova, and this is the crap that it's been given off of. Yes, I'm totally looking at the Star Wars wiki. Apparently, back in the Mandalorian Wars, they discovered this nebula, but nobody's really explored it.
Gee, I wonder why.
It takes thousands of years later for pioneers to find the planets in this area. So, what do? As you come out of hyperspace, the ship takes a hit all of you guys are doing the classic Star Trek, swing to the left, swing to the right. Even the droid is basically having a conversation with your battle droid saying, this is not right. And your communication jammer is still going off, so you guys aren't able to have like quick talks unless you go to your intercom box.
Yeah.
Right.
Janong? We have hull damage.
And are you
Yeah.
saying this on the intercoms? Are you saying this directly to certain intercoms?
Well, I'm saying Janong, come to the cockpit.
Janong, you got some explaining to do.
I'm coming back into here to make sure everything's okay in the cargo bay.
You see the two droids talking to each other, and immediately as soon as you enter the room, he disconnects and basically says, excuse me, because he was connected to this bot.
Yeah.
They were probing each other.
Yeah.
And in 9 months, we'll have a little robot floating around.
I don't know about
So
how
Ed
little
is short for Edina.
with mom's build and daddy's sneakiness. As he says, Gank, please advise what happened. It felt like our ship was struck. Where we were going, that should be of no issue. Can you please drop the scrambler that we're obviously still utilizing?
I'm not able to do that. I'm just checking to make sure everything's fine back here. The captain's got it all under control.
Part of my programming requires me to report any deviation from the planned route.
I'm sure all is fine. Captain's got it under control.
Give me a deception check.
Well, it's not a lie. I don't know, but I'm assuming, so it's not a lie.
Yeah, because he has faith in you.
So you can give me a coercion check then.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Finally, he can do the one thing he's really good at.
Right? Yeah, because, as far as I'm concerned, she knows what she's doing. I'm just making sure they weren't causing something back here. I was ready to walk into a fight.
Okay, so I am all ready for you.
All right.
As you're trying to alleviate the droid's stress, what would you like for those 2 advantage you have? Those were powerful dice on all sides.
Yeah. Everybody was active. Well, I can't really affect an additional target because...
You can totally calm down, Ed.
Yeah, Ed seems to be at peace at the moment. Maybe Ed relays that the droid seems agitated.
Ed, immediately gets into a tactical stance that you realize the droid is... Then the droid just looks at you and tilts his little wings just one direction, so he's kind of cockeyed in the air, and he says, my pheromone detectors detect much stress coming off of you. I believe your words are,
he sniffed you.
are unreassuring. You seem to not be at ease yourself. I've grown to understand the Gank's fight or flight response is only geared towards the fight response.
I was concerned that something was happening back here.
Do not be concerned. I am fully capable of defending the interior of this cargo bay if necessary. And I am not allowed to be captured. Ominous silence after that.
Well, I'm sure Ed told him that we're all really great people, and Janong is like super and takes good care of his droid buddies and, really treats them with respect.
He's like, ever since Janong kidnapped me from my previous owners, he's been the best owner ever. He told me to tell anyone. Anyone who asks, I'm supposed to say he's the best ever. And the droid's going to interface with the intercom in the ship to ask for the captain's assessment of what's going on since I can't radio you. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge of his slight irritation.
A minor.
We're all fine here. Nothing to see
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Minor radiation leak.
Yeah. A minor issue that will be corrected momentarily.
Can you please drop your scrambler so I may contact my master and let them know that there may be a delay?
Oh, that would not be recommended at this point in time. Just sit tight and we'll be back on course momentarily.
Okay, so are you going with like a charm, or
Let's see.
are you thinking of utilizing a skill, or are you just giving him captain talk to keep
This
his
is
tray in the
just-
upright position?
Yeah,
leadership.
basically it's captain talk, but hold on, let's see here.
As you're probably making faces at Janong while saying this.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much the Leku are spoken but not heard on a comm.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise I could go with charm or
Do you want
not
to
that it
try?
would work, or no, this is basically just
Okay.
captain talk.
Okay.
This is your captain speaking. Please return your chairs to the upright position and secure your seatbelts. We'll be hitting some turbulence, but we should be clear of it once we reach 23,000 feet.
As immediately the
Show you.
droid lets go of the intercom button, so you can't hear what it's saying, and it looks at Zarek and says, "Oddly enough, I do not feel comforted by her words. Can you please point out where the nearest life pod is in case of an emergency?"
She is quite competent. You can be assured.
And again, may you point out where the nearest life pod is, just in case?
Yeah, it's at the cockpit.
I am considered valuable cargo.
Yes, and we will make sure you get there in one piece. The life pod has been temporarily disabled.
And he just tilts his...
malfunctions.
Oh, now that is going to require deception.
Yeah.
I like
Boy.
that.
We're getting deep.
We've disabled the life pod for our protection. Okay, you can...
My way to the life pod and disable it now.
So go ahead and give me your deception check as you're lying about the life pod. You sense that you sense that you know what his next question is going to be of, allow me to go reactivate the life pod. Okay, go ahead when ready.
You got my upgrade in there?
I got your upgrade in there with your last light side point.
He's gonna try.
Yeah, who needs them? Not us.
Almost.
As all of a sudden, his amber photoreceptors that have been looking at you kind of turns to a dark red as you say the lie that you know you're speaking before it even leaves your mouth.
Yeah.
And it just looks at you and says, "I detect falsehoods. Why are you lying to me, Gank? It's not healthy to lie to me."
Because you're not listening to what I'm telling you.
I'm listening. That's why I detect falsehood in your words.
Because I've already told you, she's got it handled. You have nothing to worry about.
But am I not a paid passenger? Should I not be allowed to wait in the life pod if I am in danger?
There will be no need for a life pod, I can assure you. Just go back to your conversation and we'll be just fine. I've been with her for some time.
Everything will be picture perfect.
And he seems to hover into a slightly defensive position over here, in case he has to start shooting tethers into a wall and survive in a wreckage in space.
You're quite untrusting.
It's a survival mechanism. I have been taught, though I am not alive, I must survive. And meanwhile, Janong and Uma screen swipe to the cockpit. So what are you guys talking about as the droid is, making requests of you online?
Basically, heads up would have been nice, and we have hull damage.
You said you trusted him.
Yeah.
I
I
do
mean, it's your
trust him.
piloting that got us damaged. I rolled a triumph and a lot of success.
He managed to find the super secret space route that no one knew of.
How are we going to deal with this droid?
Well, that's why I figured we come here. There's nothing
Nobody
here
to help us, so we're
There's nobody to help us. There's nobody to help him.
Yeah, right now,
you
I'm
just
sure
gotta not run into the things that are hurting us.
Okay, I will keep us on course and keep us alive, flying wise. You take out that droid.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling me over to discuss this. See you later.
Is anyone going to get on the sensors and look for a planet or anything?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Because we're gonna take care of him in space. Whether A, we all die, or B, this is gonna be glorious.
If we die, it'll be cinematic.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a hull breach rips through.
It's only a blaster rifle, so we're fine.
No, I think he was referring to Uma's really poor piloting skills.
Oh.
No, that part I got faith in.
The fact that I'm very poor,
Yeah, I don't
Or you
think
have
the droid
piloting
has
skills.
shipboard weapons.
Okay, so do I need to roll something, or
Well, what are you guys doing?
Janong's gonna go check out. I'm gonna keep us flying, and Janong is going to I don't know, work it out. How are we gonna do it with the crew? I mean, what do you need from us to take out this droid?
Well, I was gonna try and ion it to death,
Jesus.
but I think it's going to just try not to break everything inside it.
I love his confidence when he says this.
I thought you were just gonna frickin' bolt it. I mean,
Well, so I was, but it detached from Ed 209.
Yeah, and now all cornered.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a little defensive now that Zarek has blatantly lied to it.
one little lie.
It's flipped that switch from you are useful assets to potential hostiles.
It's I'm like, dude, do you overreact much? Have you heard any new damage to the ship? Fine.
It's been 5 seconds since the last. It's been 5 seconds since we took any damage. And we're keeping you on call waiting instead of letting you be able to make a phone call.
You got overactive motivators, man. You need to chill.
So Janong is coming through?
Yeah.
You're standing on the other side of the door like, fuck, what am I going to do? Fuck.
Well, I mean, if I just come in and just blast it with the ion.
Oh, God.
It's going to be prepared for that.
Yeah, but Ed 209's pretty pissed off, so Ed 209 will get an attack.
Why is Ed 209 pissed off?
Yeah,
because
but
Ed 209 would instantly go to help his dad.
Yeah.
Well, that's only if it shoots its dad.
I don't know. It's kind of like a dog. You shoot the bad guy, the dog usually tries to bite the bad guy. I mean, I don't see Ed going, Dad, why did you shoot him? I don't understand. I don't see Ed doing that.
Well, you haven't given him any orders. Remember, he explicitly follows your orders. Remember when you didn't want him to go rogue and make, assumptions of his own?
All right.
As I am walking to the doorway, I am telling Ed to
How?
be prepared
The
through.
comm scrambler's on.
Yep.
You did say Abby's walking through the. Oh well, yeah, that was started earlier. Never mind.
Because we didn't want it communicating with its boss.
So how about this?
Meatloaf. I tell him meatloaf over the comm.
But you
Yeah.
can't because the jammer's on.
Yeah, but
No,
if we
he's
do
talking
like
about
Intercom.
internal
He
Yeah, the
said the
intercom.
intercom.
Like meatloaf.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and roll cool that's in on this conspiracy theory.
Oh, Jesus.
I still don't understand what the conspiracy theory is.
That you're going to be jumping the droid any second now.
Hold on.
Now, for Zarek, you can roll vigilance if you'd like, since you don't know it's coming.
Good. Yeah, because
I'm not there, so I don't know.
You're
at
still going to
first.
roll, but you're going to roll cool
Do I roll-
because you know they're going to do something, you just don't
Oh.
know what they're doing.
Are we just doing cool or initiative?
Well, initiative.
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go.
So, Janong, you know this is coming, so yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get the initiative set up there. So who's going first?
Janong, maybe.
Yeah, I'll blast him.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so we're all going to be re-rolling characters.
Ah, come on. It can't be that bad.
I know.
Can't be that bad.
I mean, I don't see him allowing me to get close enough to slap this restraining bolt on him anymore. If he would have stayed connected, I think I could have played it differently. But now it's going to be like, sun's out, guns out.
Yeah. And I pissed him off a little bit.
Yeah, whatever.
The kids were playing nice until Uncle Garrett, Zarek, kind of pissed him off.
Right.
Okay, so you're coming through the door and you're gonna shoot, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I mean, we need him, so.
And mainly it's because you don't know where the fuck the droid is in this room. As you walk in and you're immediately gonna gank him, you're like, where is he? And he's hiding over in the corner.
I'm going to use my special tactics and recovery. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
As immediately you come out and you thought they were interfacing because that's the last thing your baby boy told you was they were interfacing. You come out and you fire your ion bolt right into your baby.
Aww.
As
shot my baby.
your 3 threats say you did. As you shoot your baby, and your baby's basically not part of the fight right now. It's confused because you shot it and it started attacking itself. Like a dog biting its tail.
Alright.
So the droid is kind of confused at this point. You came running out and you looked at Zarek and fired your pop gun off and shot your droid. And immediately the droid will look at the two of you. It powers up its weapon, of course, to get into full self-defense mode.
You think?
and immediately announces to the room in general in a very loud, militant, magnified volume that any threat to this unit will result in severe damage to this ship and destruction of this unit preferred to capture.
Yeah, so he's gonna
And basically he's like puffing up and all his weapons there and you see some like little like power meter things zip up to full power on the side of him and there's a blinking light.
He might have one of those dilly bubbies that blow himself up when he versus getting captured.
And he's intently moving his blaster at anything that moves. He's not shooting, But he is pointing his blaster at anything and everything in this room that moves.
Well, this is a clusterfuck.
So,
Yeah,
Zarek, Alina, would any of you like to do something?
So I'm guessing he's considered a nemesis.
Maybe.
So, Zurich, why don't you go ahead and go next?
I'm looking here. I'm looking.
Can you force prevent it from
I mean,
blowing us up?
let's not lie to him right now. He's been lied to, shunned.
All right. So I will. God, which way to do? Which way to do?
Just go over there and punch
My influence.
Janong and say he's a pirate. Obviously, Janong is trying to take over the ship. Help me in subduing him. Oh, wait, that would be deception.
Yeah, not my best trait. Sadly, I think this might be my best. I'm debating between Vibroax and Blaster.
Vibroax. If we're gonna die great, gloriously. Glory. Glory in the death.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna charge at it with my Vibroax.
Wow.
I'm kind of feeling the same way.
Okay.
We're gonna
Let's
swing
roll.
away, Earl or Merle.
Just like to apologize in advance. I'm sorry I got us all killed.
Okay, so got your difficulty in there. I mean, it's not that difficult.
And my upgrade.
And your upgrade, yep.
All right.
Wow, Zarek's gonna run up there and vibroax him.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your brawn?
My brawn is 3.
So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points of damage.
With Pierce 2.
With
and
Pierce 2.
Vicious 3.
Okay, I like the Pierce 2 part.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts at that, minus that.
So short from a critical.
Okay, so what would you like with that one advantage? And it is still alive.
Yeah. I
It only
figured
soaked,
as much.
It only soaked 2, but it still soaked. It soaked at least some.
We will. Well, so we're engaged. So I have intimidating, by the way.
And what does that do?
Or not intimidate. Sorry, fearsome.
So he has to make a fear check.
Yep, fear check.
It's a droid, though. Do they?
That doesn't specify.
He's immune to poisons and toxins, but not fear. If C-3PO taught us anything, fear is a problem.
Yeah.
Fear is the mind killer.
He ran afraid from everything. Suffer a number of strain up to ranks in defensive stand. I will take and use that one. Oh no, that can't. That's strain. But I will take a strain to take a defensive stance. Is that a action or what is that? Oh, maneuver. I moved. Okay. I could take 2 strain, additional strain, right?
Okay, and what's your fear check? 2 purple?
What is it? Intimidating, suffer strain up to ranks and intimidating, downgrade the not intimidating. Becomes engaged with the character, may force an enemy to make a fear check with the difficulty equal to rank. So just 1.
Just 1.
It's something. Oh,
It
failed,
did
though.
not make it. And what does a failure do?
Causes, I'm guessing, what was it? Fear, right? When an enemy comes to engage the
He
character,
shuts down because he's
you
so
need to make
afraid.
a fear check,
Duh.
difficulty equal to ranks of fearsome. So whatever fear, I don't know. I'd have to look at what fear is.
So basically, if he fails, it adds a black dice to each action during the encounter.
Great. There you go.
However, he had
All right.
advantages, so he will gain 3 blue on his next fear check if he needs one. I don't think he'll be around that long.
Hopefully. So I will. I don't have strain, so I will pass it on to the next person to go as a blue, and then I am going to take.
And as soon as you struck him, since he is at half physical capabilities right now with the big gouge chopped into him, he looks like that little alien from Batteries Not Included that got smashed. You do notice that little bar with the blinking light? That bar is shrinking. Totally like it's a life bar from Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's totally not a countdown.
Okay. Of course not. So yeah, I'm doing sidestep as a maneuver for 2 strain, plus a strain for the rank, so 3 strain to do sidestep.
Okay, so
I hope Janori's recording all of this so I can watch it.
Alina or Uma, who's going next?
I guess I will. So is the door open at this point?
Janong is standing in the doorway.
Can I see said droid from where I'm at? It looks like I can.
Yeah, I mean, if you take like half a step to the straight ahead, you can definitely clearly see him.
And I'm sure you heard the crunch. Clatter,
Mainly
clatter.
the vibro axe hitting metal is the most horrible sound ever. It's like listening to a chainsaw hit sheet metal.
Oh,
And a big piece, so it resonates.
that's an unpleasant thought.
I don't know. So what I'm thinking I want to do is I want to aim. And is he within medium range of me?
He is within medium range.
All right. I'm thinking I want to throw my lightsaber at him.
Oh shit.
Wow. I like this.
It's not like she doesn't have spares.
We've gone there.
Yeah.
So, and I have saber throw, so it's going to go through any DR he has. So yeah, saber throw.
Okay, so yeah, if you're throwing your saber, you definitely want to move here.
Yeah, it's not the spares sabers that he has, it's the despair that might come up.
Okay, so you're making a ranged attack there. Now, with saber throw, it's an average attack roll, right?
It doesn't say anything. It says make a. Let me see here. I think it's a saber attack.
Okay.
Yeah, make a lightsaber combat check.
Okay.
And add your force rating dice. So if I succeed the attack, it hits. I can then spend the light or dark point to have my saber returned to me.
Okay.
Which, of course, I would do.
And if you're aiming as well, it will take 2 strain, by the way, but I think you can afford it at this point.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, go ahead and make your lightsaber throw as you're throwing your saber through the inside of the ship. And you totally know Uma would say no throwing things in the ship.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
So
wow is right.
Let me throw out a suggestion really quick.
Uh-huh.
You may want 3 triumphs. I mean, 3 triumphs. 3 advantage or a triumph to deactivate the obvious mentioned self-destruct device that's counting down.
Oh yeah, that was going to be one of them. Absolutely.
So, how would you like to, let's see what we got here with damage-wise. Is Breach 9, 10, 11, 12 points of unsoakable damage, pretty much?
Pretty much.
So how would you like to spend that advantage and big damn triumph you got?
So, like I said, we want to spend either 3 advantage or the triumph to turn off its self-destruct.
Okay, so you managed to cut your lightsaber goes flying over Janong's head, and he's like, "Holy hell!" As it goes and hit the first thing the lightsaber does is it sticks into that little light bar that's shrinking. That's obviously the movie magic countdown for the self-destruct, turning it off instantly.
No, it's got to stop it at 1 second.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do with your other 3 advantage and or triumph?
All right, so let's give Zarek a blue.
Okay, so you still have 1 advantage left.
Let's give me back a strain.
Okay.
And so now I still have what left?
A
I have
triumph.
All right, for that triumph.
Are you wanting the crate pearl to bounce out safely?
Oh God, yes. I want it to roll between Janong's legs to me.
As the droid is clearly cut in half and falls to the ground, and the pearl comes rolling between Janong's feet and lands against Alina's ankle.
And my saber comes back to me.
Well, are you going to use the dark side?
That would take a light side and
You have a light side to use.
and 2 strain and a
Conflict.
morality or conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I want the conflict. That's the question. So if not, what happens to my lightsaber? It's just sticking out of the droid for the moment?
No, it just fell across. It's lying on the floor somewhere because basically after you finished, it deactivated and went clank, 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 and fell on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And that impact is what caused the crate pearl to pop out and roll towards Lena.
Mm.
Yeah. Same piece of cake.
Well, that was almost a clusterfuck. Do you mind tossing me that? Just don't hit the power button.
And speaking of cluster, the nebula cluster, Uma.
Yes.
You've gotten your bearings. It's not as dangerous as it once was.
Okay, I'm going to use our last light side point.
Oh, yeah. Since he didn't use it, it is free. So you got lucky because I was totally going to use it just to jack your ship up some more since you want to be an ass into space. I trap you there. Go ahead and make your piloting check.
Booyah!
As apparently Uma has gotten her bearings, there is going to be a point of personal strain to Uma. Because there's this
Expressing what's happening in the cargo hold.
She's seeing all these warning lights go up of there's fire, there's energy, building up in there, there's ions going off.
All the way down the corridor, you heard this faint warp of a lightsaber flying through the air, somersaulting over itself.
You're just like, if you put a lightsaber through my ship don't have holes. Your lightsaber put holes in my ship.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of was the despair on that roll.
And what would you like for that triumph? Would you like to see a nice looking planet that you could land on?
Yes, I would. That's safe and meets all of our M-class planet needs.
Okay, so conveniently, as you pilot through the nebula, you see this really unique looking planet. It almost reminds you of what you've been told Alderaan looks like, with all of its crystals and crap. As you know, you don't have anything on the star charts, but you see a planet up ahead that has full environmental systems. As I'm totally looking for a picture of this planet, but I'm getting 0 descriptions of what it looks like.
Yeah, kind of crystalline is all I got. But
Yep, crystalline. Just a crystalline world considered unreachable. ... So you're going to head to the planet to set down?
Yeah.
Okay, so top of the order.
Ooh, what do I want to do?
So any kind of comm or antenna piece on there?
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to disconnect its communication stuff.
You
just
don't
in
really.
case it's got a beacon.
You can totally try if you'd like to. I mean, it doesn't seem necessary as the thing was ridiculously overkilled with a lightsaber.
Okay.
But you can totally go up and double check if you want to be sure. There's nothing wrong with being sure.
Yeah, it's a Sith.
Yeah, let's be sure.
Might have a homing beacon
give me
on
your
it.
mechanics check as you give the lifeless husk at the foot of your cargo hold there a once over.
Yeah, because I really don't want to turn this stuff back on for it to beacon out.
Notice how I've spent that dark side point, so there's the chance of risk happening.
Yeah, because my one character pilot has a safety beacon, so or a rescue type beacon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They are handy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your mechanics check.
Yeah, I had to refresh my.
Yes, I had to refresh roll 20 once myself.
All right. So let's try this again. Way to go!
Nice.
Wow. So you look at this thing, and with your successes, you know without a shadow of a doubt it's toast. You know, its vital components have been vaporized with the lightsaber, and it's mostly slag at this point.
Nice.
Between somebody putting a vibro axe into it and a lightsaber into it, there's not left of the mechanical features of this.
Well, it seemed like a can to be opened, so.
and you can tell that it had a thermal detonator on it. It wasn't kidding when it said it could not be captured. Take that, nanny IG unit.
Then it meets us. It's like, oh shit.
But still technically not captured because it is dead. So.
It's death before dishonor.
Right.
Yeah, well, it did fail its mission, so dishonor.
So none of the targeting, the gun system, none of that salvageable.
I mean, if somebody wanted to spend a triumph or advantage to salvage that stuff, they could have, but they didn't. They were more worried about a pearl.
Wow. I was just worried about shutting that sumbitch down before it blew a hole.
If I didn't kill that thing, it already had lost half of its detonation meter. It was going to blow a hole in the side of our ship.
Yeah, that was.
So technically, it wouldn't have. It's a little baby thermal. I mean, it would have hurt everybody inside, but
it does have breach 1.
Yeah, and then when he rolls a triumph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean.
We all get spaced.
Oh no, Umu would be fine.
Oh yeah, no, and the life pod's not far from me.
Wow.
And it's not disabled.
Oh, you didn't fall for it either?
I don't think Ed fell for it.
Ed 209's virtually rolling his eyes.
Considering what I was rolling against, it wasn't that bad of a thing.
No, it wasn't. Okay, so Alina's got the pearl. The droid is definitely discombobulated and disassembled. Poor Ed is rebooting their system going, what happened? Obviously, Daddy didn't shoot me. And this thing is...
We're going to delete that file.
This thing is clearly not transmitting any kind of signal, even if it wanted to.
I will give Janong a sympathetic pat on the shoulder as I pick up my lightsaber.
Clink, clink, clink. Don't want to leave one of those laying around.
Right.
Okay.
Somebody
So,
might pick it up and look down the barrel.
you're like, it was fine until a flinging, spinning lightsaber buzzsawed through it.
Hey, it's okay. We dropped it before it could damage anything.
Or
Yep.
anyone.
That's
And we got the pearl.
very precise
So-
tactics there. Very good job. Your distracting opening salvo worked well.
Good job. Nice team effort, folks.
Shooting
we're-
head confused the shit out of it.
We're gonna call Janong Giacchino. Shoot the hostage.
But of course, the fact that it failed its fear check, I was just thinking of Ice Pirates when the droid was scared and he's leaking the oil.
He pulls his own bolts out. Self-destruct.
Uh,
I haven't watched that in forever. I actually own it. I need to pull it out and watch it again.
It's always a good time.
yeah.
It's the National Lampoons of Star Wars.
Right.
Ron Perlman, Angelica Houston. Oh my god, it's
She is a he. No, he is a she, and she
and
likes
she thinks
you.
you're wonderful.
Are you kidding? I did a mockery run for a convention on that one. I called it Spice Pirates.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had to rescue a princess from a wedding with her Imperial Moff and take her to her smuggler father's space station where he had a energy spider that made spice.
Wait, I played in that one, Jim.
Yes, you did.
I remembered it. Yes.
You know, that little convention, what was that, RingCon?
Oh, I miss RingCon.
It's coming back next year.
Next year?
So 2022? We were actually going to ask
Awesome.
Gold about that if she'd heard anything, because I hadn't heard anything about 2021.
2021 is off the books, but 2022 it'll be back.
Haha!
Yay!
That's what I think of when I think of a scared droid.
Oh, Bob.
Oh my god, black hole.
I
He's
just
just there
re-
clatter and clank as he's shaking.
As he's scared and starts shaking himself.
Sadly, I don't own that one.
I haven't
Okay.
seen that on. Is that a Disney?
It is on
you
Disney
can actually
Plus.
watch it on Disney Plus.
Is
Yep.
it?
Uh-huh.
I loaned out my DVD and never got it back, but I managed to rewatch it like a week ago on Disney Plus.
I'll have to watch it. That was fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack, you know, funky ending.
Right.
Okay, so what is the plan, Uma? Nobody's telling you what's going on in the cargo hold. You're probably having kittens.
Well, I'm landing the ship, and once we're securely on land, I'll go investigate.
Yeah. No, I'm like,
what the hell's going on.
it's okay back here. Everything's
But
fine.
I don't want to
How are you
intercom.
doing?
So all of a sudden, y'all feel the ship kind of shudder as it's breaking into a planet's orbit. Normally, when she would be saying, "Please strap in your safety seats," does someone want to go to the intercom and let her know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go over and be like, hey, everything's fine here. Don't worry.
Okay,
How are you?
well,
Reactor leak. Don't go into the cargo hold.
minus 1 minute ago.
Everything's all handled back here.
Well, I'm actually, once we land, I'm gonna, of course, go take a look.
And then shoot the communications thing like Han did. Just nope, everything's fine here.
Why is she shooting the cockpit? I don't know. Just nod.
Like, company.
It only came close to thermal detonating. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's fine.
Never got a shot off.
And so Uma, you're actually going to land on the planet?
Yes.
Okay. Big old crystalline vistas as you're landing. You're just like too busy looking around, oohing and on. Give me a piloting check for what you believe is a safe place to land.
Hey, my triumph! I specifically asked for a safe planet.
You found a safe
Not
planet.
Safe place.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Did you not remember out of character, the description of the indigenous life form?
You think they're pine trees, but they're actually giant crystal spears. Damn growing crystals.
So I
And
got
the
2 successes and 4.
Yep. So, what would you like for those 4 advantage?
That this is a safe place, and
Mhm.
As you're sharing the crystalline
and
primitives.
I am going to take strain back.
Okay. So you find an ultra safe place. What does this safe place look like to you? Describe the safe place you picked. Because what's safe to me and safe to you are 2 different things.
Okay. So that's the picture of the planet. Basically, we are nestled in between a crystalline structure. So we're out of any type of weather. And the crystalline structure also prevents any type of scanning to finding our ship.
I like that. Okay, so you're nestled in there all nice and tight, and you go back to see what the guys are looking at, and you realize that they've turned, the droid into 2 halves of droid with smoldering, stinky ion stink in the room. Poor Ed there's got some ion marks on him. Obviously, the Imperial droid must have shot him with an ion weapon at some point.
Yeah, but I'm going to say, nice job, guys. And do I see the pearl?
No, Lena's got the pearl, I'm assuming, at this point.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, do you think you can find a buyer for it, or are you going to keep it?
Well, I mean, would a Jedi really be selling?
Well,
something
he
like
might
that?
be.
Uma's thinking 15,000 credits on top of the 2,000 credits we have.
3,000 credits. They paid
Yeah,
up front
gave
for
us
his.
that extra 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So we only can't. I mean, we would
we
have
made
gotten
money.
another, 3,000 when we, turned it in practically. But we still made money.
So, Captain, you know my preference, of course, but
Are
I
you
defer to
keeping
you as the
it,
captain.
or? Huh?
I defer to you as the captain. You know my strong preference.
Well, we technically have made a profit, so if you want to keep it, I'm not opposed to it.
Deal.
I mean, because your friggin' lightsaber, if it's more powerful, will keep me alive. In all honesty, that's
Well,
you
to be
being
fair-
better equipped better equips the crew.
To be fair, this goes into my second lightsaber so that should my first lightsaber be compromised, my second lightsaber actually keeps us alive better.
I agree to let you keep it.
Just have to be upfront. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Don, you wanna do the computer
Especially since
before
we're
we forget?
pissing off a Sith, I'd like to have a Jedi on my side.
Oh no, Captain, not just a Sith, a Darth. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah. So I'm all for. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, somewhere down in something like that.
Yeah. And shielded from any type of, scanning and stuff because the crystals.
I'm thinking a crystalline windstorm would be a bitch.
Yes,
why
we're
we're
nestled
protected by
into a
those walls.
safe little.
And in case our
Okay.
Jedi needed it, there's the stats for Crate Dragon Pearl.
Nah, I got the book. Appreciate
Okay.
it, though.
That's
Page 99.
hadn't been searching or researching none of that at all.
Well,
Okay.
You give out the price and the difficult or the rarity rating earlier. Where do you think I pulled that from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is after 9.
Okay, so you guys,
So-
are you planning on exploring the planet, heading home? What's the plan?
Well, we're going to do some repairs to the ship, change the transponder code. Can we do that here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that hopefully it help defers the Darth from finding us.
Totally, that's why she damaged the ship, was to help disguise it.
Well, and
Sure.
all of a sudden, I mean, we were being attacked by Hutts. Last thing it knows, I mean, that it heard was that Hutts were threatening us. And then we disappeared off the comm,
Mm-hmm.
True that.
So, in all honesty, it could very well be that supposedly the Hutt destroyed us and might also. We should go ahead and possibly have Janong, once we do put radio back on, take off the jammer, start a whisper campaign that the Hutts came into possession of a crate pearl.
So what I'm hearing you say is you're going to want to sick the Sith on the Hutts, and when they finally talk to each other and realize you screwed them both, you have some...
it's just a whisper campaign.
Yeah, not from us.
Exactly.
It all
We're
depends on what the dice say.
Exactly.
Just ask Zarek what happens when a bad bluff goes bad.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys are planning on repairing before leaving. That's an interesting question. Where are you going to get the materials for the repair?
We can use the slag from the droid for some of it.
And you're going to get outside of the ship and take time to do those repairs? See how I just dropped the...
What I know and what Zarek knows, two different things. Personally, I really don't want to screw with these people. I don't know their intentions at this point since nobody's met them.
Some of them are hostile, some of them are friendly. We just don't know which ones we're going to come across.
Okay,
Yep.
Frey is losing her mind, by the way.
Yep, I hear her barking her ass off there, but we were going to wrap up soon, so I was going to let that keep happening. Okay, so you guys are planning on fixing the ship here or no? Basically,
It's only 3 points.
It's only 3 points.
probably
It's
not.
barely a dent in the fender.
Yeah. So, but minor repair just to make sure we're.
Basically, do you
and
want
change the transponder?
Are you wanting
Sponder,
Janong to be
that's easy.
risking himself out on the surface of this planet that you don't know, that glistens even in the pale moonlight with crystals that seem sharp and jagged?
No. So we get out.
Yeah. No. Just do the responder or transponder and get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that the consensus?
Can we send one of the droids to get a sample of one of the crystals? Hey, it might be worth something.
No. I don't think we're gonna do that.
That would entitle getting out of the ship.
So then we're just doing some minor repairs, change the transponder, and I would like try and start that whisper campaign.
Never get out of the boat.
The whisper campaign, I like that. Okay, so that
James,
sounds
can
like...
you just put like a pretend roll with some black dice? I want to see if I set this thing upright to negate black dice.
Okay, I've got a purple and 3 black dice for you.
All right. Let's test this out.
Looks like it worked.
Hey.
Awesome.
Hey. Good. Now we don't have to worry about that part. Become smarter.
Okay, so how many XP?
So basically 15 XP.
Nice.
I take it that's exactly what you were waiting for.
Yep.
just update my sheet before I sign out.
I'll just go ahead and change my available XP to 0 now as I buy my next force rating.
Ah, that's a good use of XP.
Yep.
Okay, and we will go ahead and call it a night.
Right.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
guys.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
And then y'all will
Good
find out
night.
what's going to happen next week.
Right?
Next week.
Where do I? My dang.